This is Street Talk 10, and I'm finally getting the knobs sorted out porque the third time lucky.
El tripod no funciona.
No, we've had a bit of a situation. No. I'm going to try and fix that tripod.
No.
Not today. I wanted to talk about the flights because Beanie was stuck in a plane for 6 hours. Does
that include flight time?
No. I suppose it does. Yeah, vale. So say 2.5 hours on a plane and then 3 hours in a plane in Malaga airport waiting for a bus. I don't know why it was happening. I don't know whether it had to do with 2 previous flights that had landed in Malaga. But to cut a long story short, they didn't only give her some water. She had access to a loo, so that was all right, like all the other passengers. But they weren't given anything, any food, any sandwiches.
Nothing.
If anybody wanted anything, they had to buy it. I thought it was really bad.
Yo lo que no entiendo es, porque a mí me ha pasado también, pero a mí me ha pasado para salir. So I understand that you have to wait your turn on the runway porque se te ha pasado el slot, ¿no? Each flight has a slot. But what I don't understand is, si es para bajarte, si aterrizado ya, ¿por qué no me puedo bajar del avión?
Claro.
Después, si yo tengo ganas de dar vuelta por el aeropuerto for 7 hours, that's my business. Pero why can't I get off the plane?
I had no idea.
What if you have babies?
Well, they probably did have babies. I saw loads of people complaining on Facebook about it.
What if you have anxiety or claustrophobia?
She did have claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia?
Yeah. She did. She felt like, she rang me up at one point saying, Mom, no puedo más. I'm fed up.
Es que después escucha que si a alguien se le ha ido la pinza en un avión and they were arrested, ¿qué quiere? You're being held.
But there's been no explanation.
There never is.
At all. And then they got a coach to La Linea, which EasyJet provided. They dropped them off in La Linea, so she walked across. So then I get an email because I'd bought her flight. So that I had an email saying, if it's cost you any money to get to La Linea, then please send us the receipts and we'll reimburse you. So, she just had to walk across and we picked her up and she got the bus that was provided for her.
I'm assuming
that people may have got a taxi down and maybe that they could have got refunded. I don't know. There was a whole thing on Facebook about it.
Yo lo vi y remind me of when we went in December. Me pasó a mí.
It happens the whole time. I remember we talked about it when you went. It happens all the time. We've got the crappiest times of flights.
No, we don't.
No, a little bit.
No, we don't.
We've got the very, very early flights from Bristol as well. They're like at 6 a.m.
Sí, pero mira, yo por ejemplo, when I was in uni and there was that flight, for me it meant I got here sooner.
Well, yeah.
And I was dying to come back.
Well, yeah, that's what she wanted, to come here sooner, to be able to spend Sunday on the beach. As it happened, the weather was pants anyway. So we couldn't have, and it's been rubbish ever since.
Se hizo,
pobrecita. Sí, a bit. But she's here for 4 months now, so...
Oh, ¿ya está?
Yeah, she's finished her first year, Dav.
Yo nunca terminé tan pronto.
I know. Isn't that incredible?
Bloody hell.
It's very quick. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're waiting to see what her results are. Hopefully she's done all right.
Of course she's done all right.
Y el otro tiene exams next week, so a big shout out to all the year 11s who are doing their mocks. Good luck. Yeah, hopefully it'll go all right.
Espérate, year 11 no es ya...
Mikey, you year 11?
Year 12.
Ah, you're year 12.
Está fatal, ¿eh?
Sí, sorry.
Está fatal.
Year 12.
Do GCSE.
Ah, vale, okay. Year 12. Year 12.
Hace mucho tiempo, pero de algo me acuerdo. Right.
Yeah. Go on.
Okay. I want to say que me acordé de ti.
Oh.
Porque estaba viendo la serie de Queer Eye, which I love.
Okay. Jonathan!
I'm obsessed. Yes, Queen.
Yes, Queen.
Vale, and there was this guy that was hung up on the fact that he didn't finish high school. Bobby Burke, never finished high school. And he's like, look at me. No pasa nada. And he said this, y me acordé de ti. He said, me acordé de ti por lo de Why Bother. He said, just because your journey is different doesn't mean your destination will not be a success.
There you are. Very true. And I've had a chat with somebody on my not on my Why Bother, but before, when I did Women Rising, a lady called Emma Perez, who's the CEO of Hambros Bank, or Kleinwort Hambros. And Emma talks about how she never went to university. She started working and doing her chartered accountancy exams, and she's now the CEO of a huge, bank in Jib where they employ I don't know how many people, and she's done.
Yo te digo,
I'm really proud of Emma, and
I would not have
there
gone
you
to
are.
uni.
But like her, lots of people.
In hindsight, que no wouldn't have bothered. La verdad.
You always think that, I don't know, it would be better to have a degree to get a job.
I think that was la mentalidad 30 years ago. Hoy en día.
But even now, when you apply for jobs, we have very, normal vacancies. For example, at DHL where I work, for example, like a driver or anything, we get all kinds of people writing in. People with degrees
Yes, porque no hay
and highly
trabajo.
qualified.
Pero porque no hay trabajo,
And
not
it
because
always
it's
shocks
required.
me. Because I sometimes sift through the CVs for my managers, and it always shocks me that how qualified people are, yet they're desperate for work.
Yes.
In Jib.
Yes.
But I thought there was no unemployment in Jib, and that things were...
Just because somebody's applying for a job doesn't mean they're unemployed.
No.
Vale.
True.
Secondly, there's a lot of people coming into Jib.
Yes, and a lot of the applications are from across the border.
Y de Inglaterra se están viniendo
También.
mucha gente para acá. Vale, so there's a lot of things to it. There's a lot of... mucha gente que ya no es un degree, ya hay 2 degrees. And a master's.
And a master's.
And a this and a
Well,
that.
in my year, if you got a degree, well,
Exacto.
badge.
Por eso te digo,
Pero
hace
now,
30 años... tiene un
I
degree,
remember
pero ya...
Ricky said, I've got a master's. When I first, I think I remember him going for his master's, and I thought, wow, sugar.
No pasa nada.
Have I messed this up?
No importa.
No, let me put it back.
Oh, you're making it worse. Technical difficulties. Pero tú sabes que la cámara está apuntando para ti, ¿no? No, ahora está apuntando para allá. Oh my God.
How did I do that then?
Please.
all right? Mikey?
No, it's not looking at anything.
Come quick.
Mikey, simpático.
I've
Niño.
messed the camera up because I kicked it. Can you fix it? Okay, Charlie, you need to cut this bit.
Or
Sorry.
not. Yo lo dejaba.
See?
Mikey's supposed to be looking at me.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
No puedo. Right.
Anyway, so yeah.
Oh, wait. It's not straight.
No, not anymore. The stand.
I'm trying. Sheesh kibbles.
Is it still recording?
Yes, it is.
Sí, no pasa nada.
Okay.
Yeah,
How's
that's
that?
good enough.
You sure?
Yeah.
What does it look like? Did it look like it did before?
Yeah, pretty much. but
Okay.
it's Slightly. less.
Slightly.
Bueno,
Si quiere
put it-
ponle el otro coaster. That tiny
Oh,
bit.
can I have my water as well?
Alright.
Thank you.
Let's can I have a gin and tonic as well, please? While we're
How's
at
that?
it.
I'm legally not allowed to serve you that.
Rubbish.
Thank you very much.
Tell me, I know you're old enough to
No,
work.
he's not. He's
I'm
not
17.
18.
16.
I'm 17.
16 is the age.
No, it's 18 now. They upped it.
To serve?
Yeah.
To serve?
Yes.
I need to look that up.
I'm pretty sure.
So yeah.
Okay. Mucha gente training for charity. Me gusta. This week han empezado el 5 and 5.
I know, what was that about, the 5 and 5? So they're doing 90
But you've
kilometers.
never seen this before. They started
No,
last year.
I don't remember.
Okay.
90 kilometers on a bike,
Ellos hacen como triathlon. Hacen el
20
swimming,
kilometers running,
el
or
swimming,
21,
el cycling y el running. And they do...
every day
eh,
for 5 days.
Ahí está.
But around Jib?
Sí.
Oh, so they're going round for
Sí.
90 kilometers around
Sí,
Jib.
sí. And basically, por las mañanas, whilst I'm having my tea, pasan por Harbour Views una pila de veces. And obviously at the beginning it was just them 3 with a couple of mates y ya se ha apuntado una pila de gente.
Ah, no
And
me
it's becoming
diga.
really big, it's really cool. Y
So what, loads of people just follow them just to do 1 or 2 laps or
sí,
whatever they
hacen lo
want?
que pueden o hacen todo. And then they do their swim, they do their run, and they do it, y está súper bien. It's really, really cool. Y después también ha sido lo del el Pamplona Cycle Run.
That I've seen as well.
And it was
Well,
for...
what is
It's
that?
for prostate cancer and
So
something... Men's
No,
bits.
cardiac.
No, déjate de cardiac. Cardiac 5 and 5. Vale, this is a lot of men's bits.
okay.
And they did that as well, and I thought que
So what do they do with the
pompao todo el
Pamplona
mundo.
thing? They're going to Pamplona on
They
a
already
bike?
did it. They
They're
came down.
They came down from Pamplona on a bike. Well, no, and these people who walked from Portugal to Gibraltar.
I didn't see
these
that.
2 guys.
I didn't see
They
that.
were raising money for another charity. I don't know if it was Jib Sam's. And because one of them had somebody commit suicide in his family. And I think they were raising money for Jib Sam's. And they did the from dawn to the walk from dark to light, from
light.
darkness to light,
Sí.
which we talked about before,
Sí,
which
sí.
I thought was very emotive.
It is.
Somebody
It is.
who'd lost their brother, I think, to suicide, and it's supposed to symbolize when they're in a dark place. So you start walking when it's dark, and then it's light, and it kind of symbolizes you coming out of it. But not everybody does. So
No.
it's awareness, really.
Es que
It's a difficult one.
it is a difficult
A lot
one.
of people have stopped me about our talk last time about how
People have
Lena
messaged me.
was so open with us to talk about when she, and you were very affected by that talk.
Uf, fatal.
I know you cried all the way back.
I cried all the way down.
Yeah.
I cried at home. I cried on the bike. And it wasn't because of what they said or their journey ni nada. It was more of a personal thing. And I think I cried out of frustration. Porque I was very frustrated by... Es una tontería, pero I was very frustrated by how everything was very easy. No, you do this and you do that, pero yo personalmente I don't think that things are not so easy. I had a chat about this, ¿no? Y por ejemplo, en una situación donde you're not happy at work, ¿vale? Not everyone can just get up and change their jobs.
No.
¿Vale? En una relación, would you just get up and leave?
No, and Kaelan said something very valid when we were talking to him last week. He said that to be able to understand the good, you have to have gone through
Of course,
the bad,
of
and
course.
that not everything is peace and love and zen. That you've got to have this adrenaline kicking in for everything to work properly in your system.
Sí.
So you've got to have a bit of fear. You've got to have a bit of sadness.
Sí.
¿No?
Pero no, yo estoy hablando del otro spectrum. Yo estoy hablando cuando hay un exceso y una
Sí.
accumulation, and you've got this frustration and this feeling, como digo yo, you're married, you have kids, or you have a mortgage, or tienes responsibilities, and there's all this. Por eso me sentí muy frustrated, because I totally agree with everything that they said, pero no es tan fácil. So I kept thinking, no, I know about meditation and I know about bringing everything back down and your vibrations, pero it's not that easy.
No.
You can't just walk away and say,
No, you can't. You can't. I agree.
me tengo que ir un momento because I need to reconnect.
And that's what frustrated you.
Yeah. I got really frustrated because I thought, no es tan fácil, porque yo me considero una
Well, they haven't
persona...
had it fácil either.
Sí, pero no, es diferente, porque es que no, they are not at our...
Oh, because they're younger.
Exactly.
They're just starting.
Exactly.
Really. But I mean, I think it was still remarkable
Of course it was.
that at the age of 12,
No.
she
Eso
went
fue-
through all this because like she said, she may have been born with something like this. You see, this is, mental illness you can be born with.
Of course you can, it's inherited in some
I know,
cases.
I know,
Después
no,
también
I
está
know,
nature
I know.
versus nurture.
I know.
Did you live in an environment like that?
So as well as things affecting you, you could be just born, be inclined to be that way.
Claro que sí.
So-
Kaelan and I said it, it's a chemical imbalance.
Yeah.
Y por eso algunas veces, in some cases, a una persona le dan una pastilla and all of a sudden they're great. Because that's all they needed. Te
Yeah.
digo, hay muchos instances diferentes.
Mira, have you seen on Speak Freely how people are whinging about queue jumpers? I find it fascinating that when people jump queues, because there's been quite long queues, out of Jib and into Jib. Mm-hmm. The ones into Jib, you can actually take a picture of a Jibbo car
Yeah, pero le da
trying to get
igual.
in, and then they put it on. What
Mira,
are we becoming? Is my point.
We've had this conversation before, ¿vale? Y basically, como yo dije, ¿qué le vas a sacar? De moquearte y de sacarle una foto. Absolutamente
Nada.
nada. Esa persona, si le importa tres leches de colarse, ¿tú te crees que le va a importar que tú pongas la foto? So, what?
Ya.
Aparte que al final del día no se están colando porque tenemos dos colas.
Claro.
Ya. Porque really, if you look at it, like, forget feelings, forget moral issues, forget everything. Hay dos colas.
But don't you think people are quite aggressive when they're on the road?
Yes, I am very aggressive.
Full stop.
Yes.
I don't know
But
why, though.
I'm
But
only
why?
aggressive
But why
if
are
you
people-
do something stupid that puts my
Yes.
life in danger.
Okay, but why are people generally so aggressive when they're in a car?
But it depends.
Any little thing.
But it
well,
depends.
I cycle to work nearly every day.
Sí.
This week and the last week, I've been getting up very late, so I'm not able to walk because I don't have time. So I just jump on the bike,
Okay.
and I'm half asleep on the bike, and I've got my helmet on every day
Good.
before you tell me off.
Good.
And I'm on my bike, and I'm literally. I do like that to get to where I have to get to
Okay.
get along where the Gibraltar International Bank is.
Okay.
More often than not, somebody just beeps at me really loudly just for going round their car and squeezing in front of them to go ahead to get to the roundabout quicker. And this morning, somebody beeped at me really loudly and frightened the hell out
But
of me.
why are you weaving in between cars?
Well, because I come to the on the left of the car, and then I can see I've got a little space, so I dot.
But aren't you
front.
supposed to be on the right of the car?
Maybe it's my fault. That's
Yes.
probably why he's beeping.
Yes.
Okay.
You're not-
but
you're not
motorbikes do it
practicing-
all the time. Motorbikes come
But
at you.
motorbikes have-
Excuse me, from
Excuse
both
me,
sides.
pero motorbikes at least, aunque tan malamente, at least motorbikes have the ability to accelerate, and you do not.
Well, I do because I'm quite powerful in my cycling. What are you saying about my legs? They get me from A to B every
Chiquilla,
day.
¿cómo va a comparar que una
No.
moto te haga shit, me quito del medio,
Pero you
tú
come-
ahí con, voy a coger,
If
voy a
I go-
empezar,
if
voy
I-
a coger, voy a
lo que
cambiar de
pasa-
speed?
If I go on the right side, which is the proper way,
Yes,
I'm stuck there for ages because
Yes.
nobody lets me go.
indeed. Entonces, ¿qué quiere?
Nobody has the forethought to think, oh, there's a bicycle.
No.
I'm going, and there's a rule. There's a rule that they're not supposed to be like within 101 meter and a half
Yes.
from you, no?
Yes.
Well, where that is out the window down Lovers Lane.
Claro.
Let me tell you, every day.
Because they are supposed to stay behind you
well,
or
they
in front
don't.
of you.
They don't. They
Está bien,
don't.
pero that doesn't
So,
justify
I
you
think
going
basically
to the other side.
It's a free for all in the morning to get to work.
Yeah,
Punto.
yeah,
And that's what happens from
Yeah.
Lovers Lane all the way down to where you get to the roundabout by the Trafalgar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ahora, why are people so angry? Porque,
But I just find
but
everybody's
why
like
is-
really angry,
because
you know?
the world is like that, Michelle.
I just wish people weren't so angry
They are.
all the time.
Why are you
And
so angry?
I'm not angry.
No, you're just angry that they were beeping at you.
Well, no,
even
he
though
didn't.
you were on
No,
the wrong
I
side
wasn't
of the road.
angry, and I was probably wrong, and I'm sorry about that. He frightened me. I thought that was more dangerous.
But you did something that frightened him.
Maybe.
Lo tiene que mirar de las dos maneras.
And that's why he beeped.
Yeah?
I was thinking, why is he beeping? Okay, so
Because he probably thought, coño.
well, anyway.
Anyway, fuck that.
Mm.
Hablando claramente. Nacho Steve Revolut, ¿qué pasa?
No sé lo que
Nacho
pasa.
no quiere
No.
los pool accounts. Revolut ya no quiere gente de Jeep
I
nueva.
never,
¿Qué
people are
pasa?
using Wise.
Yeah,
I've
so
never heard of Wise.
Hay una pila.
¿Sí?
Hay una pila.
Bueno, anyway.
En España usan Bizum.
Tampoco.
There's
Sounds
loads.
like your bazims.
Sí. Hay una
Um,
pila, pero que we are slowly being pushed out.
Why
de
is that? Because
todo.
we're on the grey list?
No, because we're Brexit. I would think. Porque ya no,
I think it's because we're on the grey list.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
And why are we on the grey list?
Pues, si te digo la verdad, when I found out why, got nothing to do tanto con... It's something to do with lawyers and the way that they've done certain things. No tiene nada que ver con otra cosa.
Oh, really?
From what I understand. There's a very fine line to being on the grey list and not being on the grey list, ¿vale?
Okay. Well, for some reason we're on it.
Sí. Pero es como una liga. Alguien tiene que estar en lo último de
I wonder
abajo
if
para
that
salir.
affects all these things, though.
No, I don't think so. I think it's got to do with the fact de que ya no somos parte del club.
Yeah.
So that makes things harder for them in compliance-wise. Y entonces han pensado, you know what, yo no tengo ganas de ser dealing con los 4 chalados de Gibraltar. Cuando después hay otros países que tienen miles y miles y miles y miles de personas y les viene mejor.
It's a bit worrying.
We think we're very important. We've spoken
but-
about this before. But in the
we are-
grand,
we
sí,
are
pero in the grand
important.
scheme of things, we are not.
No, well, this is something I was
Nosotros tenemos la población in comparison to towns en otros países y no llegamos a eso. Not cities, towns. No llegamos. Lo que pasa es que para los chiquititos que somos, pues sí, we do quite a bit. Yo digo, y we do very well, pero for them,
We
no
do
somos
very,
nadie.
very
Con que, claro, tú mira un corporation que dice, right, vamos a perder, out of, por decirlo randomly, vamos a perder 30,000 applications, ¿vale? Pero nos vamos a quitar una pila de follones de encima, ¿vale? Y vamos a coger a lo mejor 200,000 applications de otro sitio. Oh.
And that's what they're doing. Tell me something. I'm going to ask you a question.
Venga.
Do you think that Britain is thinking about us and finds us
Un coñazo, yes.
important, like you say?
No, somos un coñazo.
And okay,
Flat.
for them, that's what you think.
100%. They don't need us
Are you
anymore.
like me? Because I came
Venga.
out publicly saying how disappointed I was with Britain. It was a
Yes.
little bit misconstrued and somebody took it badly, which I understand because I was giving my opinion.
Okay.
But I do feel a bit let down by Britain, and lots of people have stopped me. I'm sure the ones who don't agree with me aren't going to tell me. So maybe
Well, they should.
I know some people, the older generation, don't agree with me. I've had a few comments from my mom and my mother-in-law. They don't agree with me.
See, because
they
they-
think Britain is really loves us, and
no.
I feel disappointed.
Yes.
Maybe my point when I was on the TV didn't come across properly. I felt disappointed by, or I feel disappointed by Britain.
Nosotros somos ya, in my opinion, un coñazo. Un coñazo. ¿Tú no ves que tiene que ver? When they speak about Gibraltar in Parliament, hay 4 gatos.
I haven't seen that.
Y de esos
How do you know
cuatro-
that? How do you know?
You've never seen it?
No, I have seen
On
it, but
Sky
not,
News.
not recently.
Estoy hablando en general. Y de esos 4 gatos que hay, uno está roncando en el atrás del todo. Y hay 3 y uno está hablando. It's not important. We are not important anymore. Ahora, vamos a hablar de los budgets de los ministros. Todo el mundo, order, order, order. We're not important. We are not. Esto no es los tiempos de la guerra, que era súper importante de tener libertad strategically. Wars are not like that anymore. Wars are financial, wars are political, pero eso de vamos a ir y vamos a ir con todos los tanques, eso no existe ya. So we're not important anymore.
I hope it looks like the treaty might be something coming out soon.
Yo pienso que Inglaterra no nos han soltado porque saben que aquí la gente la liaría.
La gente la liaría.
Pero por eso.
No, but I don't
Because-
think that, eh? I don't agree with
Really?
you. I don't agree with you.
Yo sí.
No, I don't think that.
Porque,
I think
sí,
strategic.
but
no,
why
no, mira
didn't they,
con
why,
todo.
why didn't they
And
hang
I'm
on
not,
to everything else?
I'm not.
¿Por qué soltaron Hong Kong? Porque ya no están en Australia, porque ya no están en India.
No, but Gibraltar strategically is important to them.
For what?
For many reasons.
For
We're
what?
at the gate of the Mediterranean.
Está bien.
For NATO, for all those things, it's important to them.
Pero,
And a little bit, it's pride, a little bit.
what pride is
Well,
that? Why aren't they in India?
I don't know.
Where's the East India Company?
I think they have a little bit. I think that we are a coñazo. Yes, I agree with you there.
Somos
But I don't think they
coñazo.
don't. I don't think they're not.
Yo creo que cada vez que pasa algo, Egypt o España o lo que sea, los ministros tienen que estar en Inglaterra diciendo, oh my God, otra vez esta gente.
No, I agree with you there.
Otra vez, the natives. We are the natives.
We are the natives.
We are the natives.
Yeah. En fin, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we'll get some sort of.
Apparently,
Good deal,
ahora han dicho que nothing is happening anytime soon,
really?
regardless of what's
I
been
saw,
heard.
I thought I saw something that there was something that they'd been meeting and
Sí, pero que no, que ahora mismo no va a salir nada de otro
no, está todo el
mundo.
mundo wondering.
Y se van a quedar wondering. I told you this. Esto,
Va para largo.
yo creo que sí.
Sí, ¿no? Bueno, the other thing I wanted to talk about is the rain. Let's talk about what you were told, what you were asked today at work. Are we allowed to talk about that?
No,
Oh,
we're not allowed to talk about that.
what a shame.
I can't talk about that.
Okay.
Vamos a hablar de otra cosa.
Everybody wanted it to rain. But it
Yes.
hasn't rained like properly.
It has, and it's not going to, eh?
We've had a bit of rain,
I don't think it's going
but
to
not
be enough.
like proper rain.
No.
And there are loads of campos and farms and we need rain.
Yeah. Pero también I was listening to the fact that Los farmers in Spain have been given options on how to deal with the situation, porque al final del día si nos llueve, nos llueve.
Sí.
Pero they apparently are not willing to put measures in place because of the expense.
I understand that.
Que se entiende, pero al final del día, si nos llueve, nos llueve.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about the weather.
Of course there is. Climate change goes
Sí.
back to climate change.
Does it though?
I think so.
Pero tú sabes que climate change is cyclical. This is not because of pollution
I
and
don't
all
think
that.
climate change is cyclical, is
Yes,
it?
it is. It's happened before. It's happened before. Ahora, lo único que sí. Es que, vamos a ver, we have to look at this de las dos maneras. Los farmers se quejan, pero al mismo tiempo, they are the ones that are stripping the ground of the nutrients. They are the ones that are making it barren, which means that as the ground becomes barren, the carbon dioxide escapes, the world heats up. Vamos a ver. It's been created by them. But because of our need for so much of everything.
Yes.
¿Vale?
We are a consumer society.
We are a consumer society.
We
Entonces, ahora se están dando cuenta de que si hicieran farming de una manera diferente, where you allow the earth to recover, entonces this could be a lot better.
Avoid it a little bit.
No, avoid it. It's just you can actually reverse it. Sale en los graphs de que cuando los campos están llenos, because the earth is covered by the foliage and everything, the carbon dioxide remains in the ground. The moment that you harvest, the carbon dioxide is released, the earth heats up, se ve. Se ve todos los años. Cuando está creciendo el mundo está más fresquito, por decirlo de una manera. Cuando lo hacen releasing, se calienta. So the science is there. Ahora, ¿qué pasa? A mí no me conviene de tener de mis 8 campos 4 out of action because I'm letting them regenerate. That is the truth of the matter. It's money. ¿Comprende? So, tenemos dos partes. You're complaining about one thing, but you're aiding it.
Yeah.
So
it's like they tell you to have more, to eat less meat, not to have more plant-based
Pero somos la
products.
misma.
And then you see the amount of fields that are being knocked down to plant soya in Brazil. And actually, if you look at how you grow a lot of these things, it's just as
for example,
unfriendly.
in Spain ahora se llama mucho los aguacates.
Yeah.
Pero they need a lot of water. So,
yeah.
¿ahora qué pasa?
Shortage of aguacate.
No hay agua.
Yeah.
Pero ellos, they are depending on the sale of these aguacates, con que es que no hay balance. No hay balance y nada más que queremos más y más y más y más. Que eso es lo que pasa.
And I noticed that with other things as well. Like, for example, I remember going to Central America when I was 8, 9, and I remember my family saying, there's either the very, very poor or the very, very rich. There's no in between. And I think a little bit, we're getting a bit like that now again.
Yeah.
We either are affluent and we can afford a lot of things, or there's people on the poverty line. I mean, in Chip, it was never like that.
It was.
Not so much as it is now, because you talk to Nicole Jones, for example, who was on TV the other day, and she says, how many families there are with nothing. Their children can't afford anything. The families, and then you have everybody else who, they complain that a lot of people go to Spain. But I mean, I've been out on a Thursday for dinner and the restaurant was full. And a Friday and a Saturday, you go to Queensway Quay on an evening, y hay tan lleno de gente, de turista, de todo. So people are still going out in Jib. People are still have a very good quality of life.
Sí.
Yet we're also complaining that there are people on the poverty line. How can there be such a disparity?
Because there is. Because there's the very, very well off. And there's the ones who are not well at all. Eso es que toda la vida ha existido.
What I'm saying is there doesn't seem to be an in-between, ¿verdad?
Of course there is an in-between. There's always an in-between. Sí hay, hombre. Mira, actually, hablando de lo que tú estás hablando... Excuse me. I saw something about the Mental Welfare Society que salió Conchita Triay. Miss Triay.
From school.
Miss Triay. hablando de algo de employment and trail of thought, again, go back to Queer Eye. En serio, super underrated. Queer Eye es mortal. They were talking about transitional employment, ¿vale? And it's about people who come out of prison and they're not able to find employment. Y entonces, this lady was offering people a job in her thrift store, no era nada de otro mundo. And the most important thing that she was trying to teach them was decarceration. And decarceration is to quitarte la mentalidad
Okay, you've been in prison.
that you've been in prison. And a lo primero pensé, está hablando, ¿no? And then she went on and on. It was very apparent in her life. She had so many things in her house. Y era porque in prison you cannot have anything. ¿Con qué? Things. Después la ropa que llevaba. Ella era una persona que le gustaba vestir de cierta manera, pero ya tenía su... We all do this. Todos tenemos la falta hecha de llevar un uniform. Tu jeans y un t-shirt, ¿no? Eso, and the prison mentality, un uniform. Y una pila cosa. And the more she kept on going was that we are all
set in our ways.
no set in our ways, sino que te puede quedar stuck en una manera, and it's because it's either the way you've been taught or it's like your safe way, ¿no? Es más safe, because it's scary to be out, to be different, to be whatever. Y entonces me chocó muchísimo, especially since I don't think that this exists in Gibraltar, and I've said it before. You're supposed to leave prison, leave...
In Jib, you'll be labelled forever.
Why?
I don't know. Do you think?
Look, if you've been in prison,
Yeah.
of course.
Of
Of
what you're
course.
saying,
Of course,
people
of
can
course.
get out of this incarceration mentality. I
But
think
forget,
maybe
even if you try or you succeed,
You can't.
if you're getting out,
they'll remind you.
everybody else
That's what I mean.
is in it. Pero esa es la cosa, que eso es lo que me da coraje, de que there's no, I've said this before, there's no rehabilitation process. And I'm not talking about drugs, I'm talking about, tienen que salir, teach them how to write a CV, interview.
But don't they do that?
no!
You think Clubhouse does something like that?
Pero
Because they-
Clubhouse is for mental health.
Okay.
Yo estoy hablando en general.
Okay. I think there is some
I
sort
don't
of
think there
project
is.
somewhere.
Where is it?
I don't know, but where they
Where is it?
rehabilitate people who've come out of prison to come back into society.
No.
Well, maybe somebody will tell us.
I know somebody in prison who was in prison. They were given some counseling. They were told that they were going to be helped to get a job and to get a place of their own. Y el día que
They went?
salió, that was it.
¿Y dónde fue?
Pues sigue con tu vida.
No, pero where does he go? He had a family or whatever to go
See,
to.
but that was not the point. The point is that the last thing that you want is for the
But I
people
find
to
that
go
hard.
back
Honestly,
to...
I find that really hard to believe. I think,
créetelo.
well, we'll have to find out about it. We can't really talk about it if we don't know very much.
Pero que es así, the reoffending.
No sé.
What do? Do you go back to what you know?
It's easy.
Or do you venture into the unknown?
Of course it's-
where there's very little, in my opinion, support.
You go back to what you know because it's easier, but not always. Not always.
Pero yo lo
And
evito.
Well, you'll have to find out about it, Dav, because I don't know if there is support or not. We should find out.
Yo te digo a ti que there isn't. And if there is,
One
it's
thing-
not something que you leave, and before you leave te dicen, llégate aquí. Call here, speak to this person. And if there
Okay,
is, it's not very obvious.
Or maybe you don't know because you're not involved in that scene.
But how do you know?
I don't.
If I know of somebody who
I
was in
don't,
prison.
but I'm just assuming.
I'm
Because
not, yo
don't.
si no sé de algo, yo no hablo de las cosas. Yo si alguien me dice algo, yo lo primero que le digo es, pues no lo sé. Pero es que esto sí es algo que yo lo he visto.
¿Sabe? Okay, bueno, vamos a enterarnos.
So basically
enteramos.
that's the whole thing that I was saying about que there has to be, igual como las personas que sufren de mental health, it was so good to hear about it, that there needs to be a way for people to be able to get back in, not just stay in that bubble. ¿Por qué?
Yep.
We all go through phases, we all make mistakes.
Well, let's find out, and then we can say. I'm very happy to hear that there's going to be a point system on dangerous drivers and jail.
About time, de verdad. I'm
Because
sorry.
I've been saying
Yo me dije que
it.
había empezado ya.
Well, maybe it has started, but they're going to do. If it hasn't started, it's going to start. I mean, from 1 to 12 points. At 12 points, they take away your license. And I think it'll affect also. In England, it affects your insurance premiums and
Does
how much.
it?
Well, in England, it does. I'm not sure if it will here or not, but I mean, depending on how many points they ask you in the form, how many points you have on your license.
There has to be
and
a
after
way.
3 years, the points go with good behavior.
There has to
and
be
all
a
the
way
rest
de
of
que
it.
la gente paren ya de una vez.
Yeah, well, 12 points
This
is
is the
disqualified.
conversation I had last time, que me dicen, hay que ver que han subido las multas. Pues para de aparcar en el sitio que no debe.
Claro.
Son rocket science. Yo no cojo multa. Y si la cojo, pues digo, pues nada, la verdad que aparqué malamente.
Yeah.
Porque la gente que encima tiene mucha cara, que chungo, pero stop parking wherever the hell you like. Igual.
I see a lot of people on their phones and
Sí.
a lot of people on
Sí.
their phones.
Sí.
That should be like automatic 3 points
Y
or
el
whatever.
drink driving lately está
I don't know about drink
fire.
driving because you're there. No shit, I don't go out that
No,
much.
pero
and if
tú
I
no
do,
lo
I
ves,
walk
pero tú
around
no lo ves
here.
en la crónica.
No, I haven't read. I
Really?
I see the Chronicle, but I haven't.
Everybody's getting disqualified. It's
And they write
ridiculous.
the name of the person.
Oh yes, you've been convicted, of course.
Really?
Claro.
I haven't noticed that.
Oh.
Oh, I'll have a better look then. I just kind of skim through and read the thing, the ones that interest me. The letters from Charles Durante, those are interesting.
El Charlie.
I like them.
El Charlie.
Talking about language. Bueno, I want to say one thing about IBEX insurance. We always talk about IBEX, but I want to tell you that they offer, and this is really interesting, basic missed departure cover
What?
and missed UK departure cover.
What is that?
If you miss a flight for whatever reason, they can cover that in an insurance, in a travel insurance, which I thought was
mira,
really interesting.
Lately creo que está muy bien eso porque...
And they have emergency pet care up to €250, which I thought was pretty good. And also, a COVID cancellation for holiday is free if you get out a cover with them, like an insurance cover with them. So if you're going on getting some travel insurance and you get COVID, you can cancel for free.
That's
You
not
get a
bad.
compensation. That's very good.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And then another one. This was an advert they put out today. Optional extra for 5 gadgets if you go on holiday per person.
Está bien.
So little, you
Los
pay a little
mobiles,
supplements.
el Kindle.
5 gadgets each person. I mean, they're very good.
No está mal.
Yeah. So we're
Lo del
grateful to
COVID,
IBEX.
me dejó cubierto del
And-
COVID.
Yeah, that's what it says in the thing here. It
Oh.
says cancellation cover for COVID is included free of charge. There are 2 dots, but I don't know what the 2 dots. I can't read that small print there. What it means. But yes, that's what it says.
Ah, los asterisks. Up to a limit.
Might be up to a limit or
Included
something.
free of charge.
Maybe it's up to a limit.
Sí,
I
pero
can't
los
read
dots
the
aquí
thing.
abajo y eso no lo ve nadie. No,
Yeah.
forget it.
Bueno,
Forget it.
anything else?
Bueno, I want to say que me hizo gracia because salió un artículo que decía Gibraltar Reg in sub-zero temperatures in Scotland. Y me hizo gracia porque sé que hace frío, pero
You'd think they would be used to it, no?
no, pero
Well, no, probably because they're not used to it.
y ahora me acuerdo I highly recommend, vale, just because it's so shocking to us que there's these little videos on YouTube about the coldest town on earth.
Okay.
Y se llama Yakutia, ¿vale? Y Yakutia
Is the coldest town on earth.
coldest town on earth.
Where
¿vale?
is it?
Russia, ¿vale?
Okay.
Y entonces
Yakutia.
Yakutia.
What a great name, no?
It's brilliant.
It's like somebody out of Star Wars could be
Sí,
called
sí, Yakutia. Queen Yakutia.
Queen
sí.
Yakutia.
Bueno, pues en este vídeo sale un chiquillo, Arian, que tiene 9. And up to minus 54 degrees Celsius, no estoy hablando de Fahrenheit.
That's a bit chilly.
Minus 54, children are allowed to go to school. Vale?
See, I know what you're going to say.
Espérate.
I know what you're going to say.
No, you don't.
No, yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Sí.
No, calla. At minus 55, ya it is considered too dangerous
Okay.
for children to go to school.
Okay, so there's 1 degree in it.
Vale?
Aquí, there's a bit of rain and they cancel the class Mikey went to school last week, Thursday, and he came back and said, my afternoon classes were cancelled. Why, Mike? Because it's raining. Digo, "Oh."
Escucha, este niño se levanta a las 7 de la mañana, ¿vale? His mom makes breakfast fresh con leche de yo que sé qué and everything. El padre...
From the Yakuti.
From the Yakutia. El padre they have to continuously burn wood for 9 months
And
to keep the house
how
warm.
do they chop the wood?
No, el niño lo hace, ¿vale?
How in Yakutia at minus 54?
El niño lo hace. El niño corta la madera. El niño hace de
¿Y el-
todo,
y el
¿vale?
padre qué
después
hace?
yo a mi hija
¿Qué
le
hace?
pido que se duche, ¿vale? Y parece que le pidió que me dé un riñón, ¿vale? Impresionante. Bueno, el padre tiene blocks of ice, which they put in water. El niño se limpió la cara con ese
54, que no se le quedó
sí.
la cara en el cubo.
No, tienen un cutis amazing. Aquí todo el mundo gastando ese dinero con el New Skin y todas esas cosas.
Tenemos
No,
que ir
no.
a Yakutia.
Vamos a ir a Yakutia. ¿Vale? Y impresionante, de verdad. You have
Pues-
to watch it. You're watching it and you're thinking, por favor, después aquí tenemos un día de levante y está todo el mundo, ¡ay, qué humedad! ¡Ay, qué
Qué frío, hay
humedad!
que ver
¡Ay, qué
pelo,
frío!
hay que ver pelo.
Todo el mundo en Morrison's comprando heaters. ¡Ah! Minus
Let's
54.
go live in Yakutia.
¿Y yo qué coño voy a Yakutia? ¿Que está loca tú? Me
No.
muero yo.
54 minus
Minus
54.
54. My brain doesn't even understand
We
that.
don't know how good we have it here.
Exactly. Exactly.
Joe, I don't understand how when it rains, everybody stays at home.
No sé,
in England, if it rains, you have to go out.
Es que no sé.
You have to do
but the rain
everything.
is different.
But why?
Porque yo me acuerdo, when I used to live in the UK, I used to walk to the bus station, cogía 2 buses, después andaba, después cogía otro bus y para arriba. Y en verdad nunca te moja.
And you don't care. You do it because
Sí,
you
pero
have to do it.
pero no te moja.
No.
Aquí, hoy yo fui desde para coger mi lancha hasta el trabajo y me chupé toda la tarde con la ropa mojada. It's different. Pero que sí, que somos muy special. Yes,
Un
we
poquito
are.
special y un
Yes,
poquito
we are.
spoilt.
Llueve y todo el mundo saca los coches y chaos.
Well, no, we're unique.
We are. But
And
we-
with
but-
that,
but
I
we're
just want
funny-
to
we're
ask
funny
you.
about
I
it,
want to
though.
ask you. Next week, it's very exciting. We're going to the city hall,
Yeah.
and we're going to talk to the mayor.
Que nos
His
vamos a poner-
worship.
¿tú te vas a poner
We have
algo?
to call him his worship. No, vamos vestir bien
We have
for
to
the
call
city
it?
hall. No vamos a ir en jeans. Tenemos que ir bien vestida to the
Okay.
city hall.
No
Que
me
yo
diga
nunca he
eso.
estado al city hall.
Ni yo.
Él tiene muchos parties, pero a mí nunca me han invitado. ¿Y a ti?
Yo no, a mí
No.
que me van a
Bueno,
invitar.
no han invitado next week, aunque vamos al podcast de
Yo
ahí.
soy muy antipática, a mí no me invitan a nada.
No, no.
Nada.
Y yo tampoco. Yo no soy antipática, pero lately I've been causing a bit of a
Pero,
stir.
en serio,
Pero bueno.
can we go like super dressed up? Ya estoy
Yeah,
excited.
super
ya.
dressed up?
Sí, sí, vamos bien vestidos.
Or like with makeup and everything.
Sí, yo tengo un fur coat y todo.
Bueno, Dav. Bueno, we'll arrange it. Anyway, the point was that Christian Santos and his group, his choir, Gampa, are doing a fantastic show in June,
Vale.
covering all the divas of soul music: Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Dionne Warwick,
Aretha.
Aretha.
Oh, yeah.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Yes.
Shall we go?
Yes.
Because my lot won't probably like that kind of thing, but I would love to go.
Chulísimo.
I thought we should go.
Yes.
Tickets go on sale this week. Buy tickets.gi, I think. I've seen an advert, and I thought you and I should go.
A mí me echarían de allí.
¿Sí?
Sí.
¿Por qué? ¿Por cantar?
Sí.
¿Tan mal cantar?
No, pero quiero cantar.
Bueno, cantaremos. Nos
Qué
vamos.
pena, no, I didn't know.
Yes, I've just seen it. Digo, we have to go. I really want to go. Podemos cantar toda la canción. I love that.
Where is it?
In John McIntosh Hall. Let's go. Right, thanks, guys. Next week, City Hall, dressed up. Right, I'm going to hit the button.